everyone, and welcome to the virtual book launch for Shabani Meghani's memoir, Fighting for a Future, Trapped Behind the Border. My name's Hayley Tibby, and I'll be your MC for this evening. I've had the pleasure of knowing Shab for about 6 years, and it's a pleasure to be able to host this very special event for her. I'd like to start by thanking you all who've joined us to celebrate this event. You're all very important to Shab, and she appreciates the support. We also want to make special mention to thank Mayor Giles-Gidney of Willoughby Council, who's taken the time out of her busy schedule to join us this evening. Well, to begin, I'd like to introduce you to a little background to get to know Shab and her book, Fighting for a Future, Trapped Behind the Border. As most of you know, Shab is a mother of two who grew up as a member of the Baha'i faith. And as a result of the Islamic Revolution in 1979 and her religious belief, she was subjected to discrimination from the age of 12. This book is about her life journey, from childhood and a teenage marriage, and at the age of 29, escaping Iran with two small boys, fleeing from an emotional and psychological abuse, depression, and a society that gave women, especially Baha'i women, very few choices. This story gives you mixed emotions, seeing how life is in a different culture and with different beliefs. It really does make you realise how hardships can be overcome. Her book divulges into her 10 self-help steps. These steps were critical that assisted Shab in overcoming her battles and allowed her to continue to live a very fulfilling and happy life. We have a number of guest speakers this evening, and as our first guest speaker, I'd like to introduce you to one of Shab's closest friends of over 15 years and her former workplace manager, Megan Thomas. Welcome, Megan. If you can unmute yourself, please.
Welcome, everybody. It certainly is an honour to be able to speak about Shab tonight. I first met Shab about 17 years ago when she came to work with me on the cardiology ward at Royal North Shore Hospital. We then continued to work together until my retirement last year. Over those years, not only did our professional relationship develop and grow, but also our personal relationship. I was soon to realise Shab was a determined woman. As I began to hear a bit of her story, I thought she has simply an amazing story to tell. I remember saying to her she needed to write it all down for her boys, Salah and Sam, because the story would be lost, if she wasn't around to tell it. I have never met a more resilient, determined, and tenacious person as Shab. The psychological strength she must have had to deal with the situation she found herself in is absolutely mind-blowing. By the time I first met Shab, she had taught herself English and put herself through her nursing degree, supporting herself as a single mum while caring for her two boys. When Shab has a goal in mind, she commits 100% to achieving it. Over the years of our working together, Shab proved to be a hardworking, dedicated, loyal and supportive and professional colleague. I found that I could depend on Shab to perform her duties to the highest standard, therefore providing a role model for other staff. Shab became my second in charge, making my job as nursing unit manager so much more manageable and also enjoyable. Being a doer, Shab managed to complete her master's degree in recent times in 18 months while working full-time, caring for her family, including her parents. It's very true when they say, if you want something done, ask a busy person. Shab is totally devoted to her family, to Colin, Salah and Sam and their partners, and her lovely new granddaughter, Tiana, as well as her parents and extended family. She would move heaven and earth to ensure their happiness and well-being. Not only is Shab loyal and supportive, but a more generous, kind, and caring person you would never meet. I believe being the positive person that she is ensures that she always sees the best in people. She is definitely a half cup full kind of person. I know Shab's family, especially Colin and the boys, are so proud of her achievements. And as a dear friend to me, I couldn't be more proud either. Shab, you are an amazing woman, and I'm so honoured to be part of this book launch. I feel very emotional. Congratulations, you deserve all the accolades that you have received, and I wish you every success for whatever your future holds. You are an amazing lady and I love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan, for such kind words. Our second speaker of the evening is Joshua Clifton from Ocean Reefs Publishing, who's helped Shab fulfill her dreams in publishing her book. Unfortunately, Joshua was unable to be here this evening, but we have a short video message to show you all.
How's it going, everyone? First of all, another huge congratulations to Shab for this tremendous occasion tonight. It's a huge achievement to bring a book to life. It takes a lot of time, energy, resources, and it's a momentous occasion. So first off, congratulations again, Colin and Shab. Sorry I couldn't be here tonight, but I am thinking of you during this event. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Joshua Clifton and I am the marketing coordinator at Ocean Reef Publishing and also the lead marketing mentor. So what I do is I help authors market their books, not just in Australia, but around the world. I work with people from all different walks of life, all different types of books. And I met Shab and Colin at the start of the year, I think around February. And from day one, since I met them, I knew that they were dedicated to this process. And I was hoping after our first couple of sessions that they would continue this incredible momentum that they had in this dedication to the project. And it's safe to say to this very point right now, they have lived up to that and surpassed it by all means. It's an incredible achievement to watch them grow. And, you know, we always had great chats and we always continue to have great chats, I'm sure. But for those of you who don't know, this takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of marketing to do not just events like this, but other events, reaching out to people, gaining momentum, especially as an unknown. And in a world full of uncertainty at the moment, a world full of unknowns, these sort of stories that Shab is sharing with the world are so crucial in today's environment. And it's so important that we can share messages like this. And I call on all of you here tonight for this book launch to really dig deep and grab a copy for yourself, and grab two copies, because I'm sure there's someone else in your life that can utilize this book in some way and give them some hope and show that through tragedy, triumph can occur. And this book is a clear defining result of that. So as always, I want you guys to have a great evening tonight, and I hope you have a good evening. Have a drink, share some laughs, get behind Colin and Shab, and really get behind this project. And at ORP we have a saying, because we work with creative people every day, and that is be creative, be inspired, be published.
Well, that was some great words from Joshua. Our fourth speaker of the evening is Sam, my partner, Shab's youngest son, and who's always been Shab's other greatest achievement. Welcome, Sam.
Hi everyone, I'm Sam, Shab's youngest, and I'm truly happy that you're all here tonight to celebrate with us, and I hope that you're all well and keeping safe in these unprecedented times. Although I was very young, I remember a lot of our journey in picture-like snapshots or short films in my mind. I began reading her book just yesterday, and I experienced a lot of emotions of deja vu, sadness, and at times laughter. But for the most part, I learned a lot that I did not know about, which has been very awakening for me. I began unfolding the true strength, resilience, courage, and determination that my mother had and still yields to this day. Even with the obstacles she encountered during the difficult situation in order for a brighter future for us. At times, I couldn't help but think of how life could have been had I not had such a caring, courageous, and selfless mother. To leave a country that you're familiar with, share the same language, and have spent your whole life in, with all your familiar friends and family, to leave all behind and embark on such a difficult, unguaranteed journey to a whole new country for a better future. This has always been very inspiring to me every time I think about it. During my upbringing, Shab has taught me to love, respect, accept others, and to be courageous. She walks the walk the same she talks the talk in her book. I can never think of a time where she has been unfair or nasty towards me. Yes, she was strict as any caring parent would be, but as I've grown older, I know everything she has done for me was an act of care with the best interests at heart. I truly feel she would put her two sons first before anything else, and to be transparent, she has proven time and time again that is the case. My mum has always smiled and been positive throughout her life, even in painful situations. I only know this because I've known her for 30 years, but to the naked eye, she can be very convincing. Throughout my upbringing, whenever she has envisaged a goal in her life, she has always pulled through right to the end of whatever that goal may have been, whether aimed at her career, a healthy lifestyle, or even a hobby. I can never think of a time she has ever backpedaled already halfway into something. That being said, her journey for a better future reflects these traits. She has proven that commitment and persistence pays off with many things in life, and to not give up on your beliefs and to always aim higher in life. With all that said, I'm very proud of your achievements, Mum, and I will always support you just like you have supported me. And I'm so grateful to have you as my mother. Congratulations on your new milestone. I love you. I'm very excited to read the rest of the book. And thank you again to everyone that's with us tonight. Thanks, Hayley. I'll take it back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Our next guest speaker, who unfortunately was unable to join the book launch this evening, is one of Shab's oldest friends, Rachel. Rachel has been Shab's friend for more than 20 years and has been a wonderful encouragement to Shab throughout her life. Rachel's prepared a short video message for Shab and will now play this for everybody.
I feel honoured Shabnam's asked me to say a few words tonight. When I first met Shab, she was young with two small boys, limited English and living in a foreign country. This did not stop her from pursuing and achieving her registered nurse bachelor, even if it meant working weekends and having to bring her younger boy to work on the odd occasion, which I must admit we all loved because we got lots of cuddles in the tea room. Now a clinical nurse specialist and a role model for so many. Over time, I started to hear Shabnam's story, which absolutely blew me away. Behind her enthusiasm and smile was a vulnerable woman silently suffering from depression, trying to start a new life for herself and her boys. Behind her brave face was a story most of us would never contemplate. Her childhood in Iran was plentiful and could not have been better, a loving family with beautiful memories. This quickly changed as Iran became extreme and Muslim-controlled. She had to flee and escape this suffocation. Coming from a Baha'i background in Iran had many challenges. Discrimination from a young age, living with limited freedom, being female, trapped in a marriage with no voice, and denied the right to education were just a few of the challenges. Overcoming these challenges and traumas has been a hard journey. You have achieved your goal of freedom and happiness in which we all deserve. Sal and Sam, what a role model you have. You must be so proud of your mum. Shab, you're an amazing and independent woman, valued for your intelligence and strength of character. You're an absolute inspiration to all your family and friends, and I am so proud of you. I'm really looking forward to reading your book, Fighting for a Future.
Shab's husband Colin, who has been by Shab's side for the past 17 years and has assisted Shab in processing and the preparation of this book and book launch, will now say a few words.
Hi everyone, glad to see you all. Listen, I've known Shab for 17 years. I've witnessed her determination and willpower, and Shab has written her life story. And I remember her giving me the first page of a manuscript in February 2018. And I thought, wow, this is going to be an emotional journey. This is going to be quite a story for me as well to read. And I knew that it was going to be something that I could understand more about Shab and her early childhood and before I met her, and where it took her into as I know her now. So her story from childhood, teenager, marriage, and escaping Iran. Arriving in Australia, the new language, new society, new rules. She was able to study, able to start a new career in nursing, and able to advance her studies and complete her master's, as Megan said, in her field of nursing. To her family and friends, read the book. Read the words of a wonderful mother, wonderful daughter, and a wonderful wife. Sorry, a bit emotional, sorry.
Thank you, Colin. That was just beautiful. So, our final and most important speaker of the evening, the one we've all been waiting to hear from, will be our author of Fighting for a Future, Trapped Behind the Border, Giles-Gidney. Welcome, Shab.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here with me tonight to celebrate my book launch. This means a lot to me to have your ongoing support and love. Some of you have been with me during this journey from the start. Some, like Megan and Rachel, encouraged me to write my story. And others like Judy, which is here tonight as well, hi Judy, encouraged me to go on conversation and podcasts and talk about my life experience. To be honest, your encouragement was the first key. I believe I had to do it to heal my wound. The other reason actually I write my life story was I love to help humanity. And by sharing my experience, I wanted to pass this message to women and many men that it's never too late to change your life. Doesn't matter how old you are, where do you live. So with all your support and encouragement, I decided, yes, I will do it. But it wasn't comfortable. It took me nearly 20 years to finally convince myself to put pen to paper and seriously create my memoir, Fighting for a Future, Trapped Behind the Border. That was about 3 years ago. I remember the day I started writing my story. I took my mind back to revisit my past. It's okay to revisit our past actually, but not healthy to stay there. As staying in our past just to stop us from moving forward and growing. Let me tell you. And that wasn't easy. It was very hard. I was like it's like actually opening an unhealed wound and rubbing some salt on it. It was very painful to the point that I was crying when I was writing my story and I had to stop and leave it for another few days to make myself calm before I do it again. But the miracle happened after I finished my book. There was no pain, There was no anger. There was no shame and no regret. The wound healed completely. Of course, their scars still will be there. But it's there to remind me what I achieved in life and how strong I am. I love my scar. Today, I am so at peace with myself and a much happier person. We all are entitled to like human rights, regardless of our religion, background, belief, culture, and race. You know, there is only one race, the human race. And I learned that as a child. So I love everyone, regardless their background, regardless their religions, and the way they live. I would love to share a few sections of my book with you tonight. But before I do that, I want to say, Salar and Sam, I am so proud of you. And until my last breath, I will support and love you guys. Thank you for being with me all the way and help me to be a better person. I should say a better mother. Now I will share a few sections of my story with you. So I don't want to take so much of your time because I'm sure you're going to get the book and read it. So I go with the first section I choose is when I was going to the Turkey for the first time. After an hour of riding, one of the Turkish men quickly took Sam off the horse. He told us that as we are going down the hill into the valley, it was not safe to carry him on the horse with me. I was about to get off as well, as I didn't want to be separated from my boys. But I lost the chance as the guide quickly pulled the horse's harness and let him galloping down the valley so fast. I was so scared as he was taking me into the darkness, leaving everyone behind. He was leading the horse down into the valley so fast and running alongside it, pulling on the harness. The poor horse could not balance his weight on the steep, uneven road and was fell on his knees time and time again. I was not scared of falling down, but I was getting worried about being alone. And it was now only me and the guide together. It was the first time that I started to panic, to the point where I thought that my heart would jump out of my chest. There was no one near us. Everyone had disappeared into the pitch black night. The thought of losing my kids made me terrified. Life would be meaningless without them. The next section was when I was deported back to Iran and we ended up going to the jail. So at this time, I was in the jail. One day, for the first time, we were all locked in our cell for a few hours. One of the prisoners was receiving 16 lashes by the prison guard as a part of her sentence. I still remember the horrible screams she was making after each brutal lash. On that evening, our cell door opened, and around 12 to 15 women in traditional colorful clothes with long puffy skirts were pushed into the room. The room was so small, and we were already full without them. And now we were even more cramped. I even hardly breathed at all. I could not breathe at all. The women had been arrested due to being involved in a big fight in the village. The strong smell of sheep dung from their clothes and the lack of oxygen made me feel nauseated and suffocated. I thought I was going to faint. I was feeling so dizzy. I had to try and control myself, telling myself it would be fine. I just need to breathe. After a few minutes, the door was open and our dinner was sent into our cell. The smell was so awful. It was supposed to be a chicken soup, but it was just chicken skin floating in a big pot of chicken stock. I could not control myself any longer. I ran toward the door, begging the prison guard to let me go out for just a short time. As soon as I was released into the yard, I rushed into the toilet and started to vomit. I walked out of there and made my way toward the corner of the yard, where I sat down, putting my head between my legs, sobbing. I could hear something crawling next to me, and when I looked down, I saw a gold scorpion. In shock, I jumped up and ran to the other side of the yard to get away from it. The guard was laughing to see my reaction and said, "Don't worry, there are many of them in here. You get used to it." Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here tonight with me.
Thank you, Shab. Those words in your book are just so intriguing, and I'm sure many of us just want to hear more. Our next event of the evening is that we're going to draw 5 lucky draw prizes, and we're going to give away 2 books for free and a reading light, and also 3 Westfield vouchers for the value of $50 each. So while everyone's been intently listening to Shab, Sam has been confirming all of our guests' names, who are all in the draw to win our prizes, and he has drawn those names. I'm just going to read them out. Just give me one moment. Answers. And now I understand Shab would like to just say a few extra words to everybody.
Yeah, actually wants to tell you guys, every book going to be purchased for the month of September, from 1st of September to 30th of September of this month, 5% of the purchase price going to be donated to the people in Afghanistan, which is affected by the last problem happening in Afghanistan. So any book you're going to buy this month, or I mean, now is end of the month anyway, for tomorrow, from tomorrow till end of September, 5% going to the people in Afghanistan to help them, support them.
What an honour it has been to share this very exciting book launch. I was one of the very lucky people who had an advance copy and I read it within basically a morning because I couldn't put it down. It was such a fantastic story about survival, but more importantly, about really making the best of life, looking with a positive point of view. And it was an inspiration to me, Shab. It is beautifully written, very relatable. And I don't know if you've seen the social media, I reposted the post that you put on, and there's been some lovely comments and lots of people liking it. So you deserve every success. It's an extraordinary story. I really thank you for sharing it with us and with everyone more broadly. Some really great messages, and I love your rules for life at the end too. So thank you very much.
Thank you for being here tonight. It's like such a pleasure to have you here tonight and your support. It's meant a lot to me. Thanks.
All right then. Well, everyone, it's been such a fantastic evening, and I'd like to thank everyone for attending Shab's most special event. Your support means so much to Shab and her family. Please remember you can purchase Shab's book at shabnamagani.com for the very special price now $24.95 plus postage. This special price lasts till midnight tonight. So after this event, jump online, purchase it before midnight, and as Shab said, 5% of the purchase price is going to be donated to those affected in Afghanistan for the month of September. You won't regret this purchase. It is, as Mayor Gale said, one that you can't put down. Please support Shab and jump online after this. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for everyone that's come today, and a special thank you again to Mayor Gale and also your community service to date. It's such a pleasure to have you with us, and we really, really appreciate the support you've given Shab. So, all right, well, I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and as I said, please jump online after this launch. We have until midnight at that special price. Get behind Shab and have a purchase of that book, and you won't regret it. So,
love you all. Bye.